Hello, welcome back if you're returning. Today is part 2 of the bathroom makeover. If you remember from last week, I was calling it lipstick on a pig. This week, in the words of Farmer Hoggett from Babe, that'll do pig. So this is a quick recap of how the bathroom was, so everyone knows it's a rental property. It's killing me that I can't rip it down and start again. I was trying to make the best of a bad situation. So just sort of letting you know, this was replaced when we first moved in. The sink was, and the door goes to nowhere, and it's just a bad bathroom. It's a big space, but everything's wrong with it. The floor's got to be replaced. The ceiling was a mess. The walls are a mess. That cupboard, whatever, I don't know. It's hard to explain what this bathroom is. So this is a quick recap. So I'm painting everything. 99% of it is thrifted, and hopefully come the end of it you'll see an improvement. As with most things in this bathroom, it's replace it or repaint it. So I always start with a repaint. Took the light fitting apart, gave it a clean, decided to spray it gold and not replace the bulbs. If I can find the Edison bulbs that are at the low wattage, I will. And I've got some old shades from another light fixture that I'm going to replace and put that back up. I also found these thrifted handles to replace on the cabinet, sprayed everything gold for continuity. Took down the old mirror and the panels that were beside it. They're just so ugly. The wall's not in brilliant shape, just painted it and then replaced it with the thrifted mirror that I picked up. I picked this up specifically because it was a nice long mirror. The lights are not on centre with the cabinet. So I just painted this green, add a little bit of gold leaf, and then we had to screw it directly onto the wall. It was the best way of making it stick because of the situation. Painted the cabinet white and then replaced everything, all the hardware, with the new spray tip sprayed gold. Onto the shower curtains. So this was the piece of material that I'd had. It was the perfect green. The colours in it are lovely, so it matches nicely. And I had just enough to make one big shower panel. What I did was I took down the old shower curtain, the liner, picked up a new one, and then I lined up the hole spacings so that when they both go back onto the shower curtain, onto the rod, they fit together perfectly. So I used the shower liner curtain as a template to make all the little hook holes, and you can see here, so they all correspond with one another. When it's back on its curtain rod, it lays flat. So as you can see, I'd marked all the places where the holes had to be, and then I went over and used the buttonhole foot on the sewing machine and just made little buttonholes all the way along in the corresponding marks, and then used a little X-Acto knife just to cut them out. I picked up this antique screen before COVID in a little antique shop in Niagara Falls. It was $25. It didn't have any fabric on it. I'd picked up this fabric a long time ago and I knew I wanted to use it. And of course, once I saw where I was going with the bathroom, the colours were perfect. So what I did was I measured each of the panels. I had cut the fabric and then had back and front. I had to be able to see the fabric good sides on the back and the front because of the way the screen worked. So I made 3 tubes, sewed them right side together, turned them back around and left, and then I made a channel on the top and a channel on the bottom, sewed them up and then fed them through the little rods that then went back onto the screen, so that you had 3 panels and the material was good on both sides. So I had some downloaded artwork. I think I left the link in the last video. These picture frames are very Victorian, Edwardian inspired, I think. And I wanted to reuse the frames. Last time I'd used these was for Halloween. I'd drawn these little masks on them, so I had to get the masks off. I pulled off the backs and I was going to use my artwork and replace them. So what I was going to do is, they're a little bit shorter, a little bit smaller than the pictures. I was just going to paint the background black and cut the white off the pictures and then just insert them into the picture frames. So when you're reusing old pictures, you don't know what you're going to find. Once I'd cleaned off the glass I'd used an indelible marker, so it took a bit of cleaning, but obviously the goo gone made the glass quite messy. So once I'd taken it all apart, I'd given everything a good clean. The nails that were in there, I just pulled them out with pliers, and then I'm going to reuse them. And I just turned over the template of the picture that was in there. There was another piece of paper as well that went in the back, and that's what I used as my base for the new artwork. So I painted that black and used Mod Podge to attach the picture to the oval template. I did this two different ways. I had two different pictures. I painted obviously the background black just around the edges, and then once it was dry I applied the picture on top. With the second piece, the second piece of artwork, I did the same thing, painted it all black, but this time I Mod Podged the board and the back of the artwork, and it just turned out better. So if you're going to do it, do both pieces. So the piece you're sticking it to and the artwork, cover them both in the Mod Podge. It just worked better. Funnily enough, I went to all this trouble to make this artwork and then decided not to use it because it didn't really go with the bathroom. So what I've done is I've replaced different artwork around the house, and you'll see as I go around, I've taken from some places and put it in others. And recycling's my middle name. So this was a stall that I had in the garden, in the summer house. If you remember, I'd made it when we did a summer garden makeover. I had the green velvet, and I was just going to recover it in the green velvet. I did have the pink, but I like the green better. I end up using the pink as my curtains. I did pop out to thrift some items for the bathroom, mainly for the shelves. I had a lot of stuff that I grabbed from around the house, but I saw these. They were $1 each, and they certainly have the same colour scheme, and they're perfect for the bathroom. There was a few items that I picked up. I'm not going to show you all of them because some of them are just not specific to the bathroom, but I managed to pick up this cut glass candy jar for $2.50, and this is perfect for bath salts. I also found this candlestick, one candlestick, perfect green, $1. And these two little plastic bowls, 50 cents each. Now I gave them a good clean, and I'm either going to put plants in them or battery operated candles. Again, perfect green for the bathroom. This little pear's soap tin was perfect. I only found the one, unfortunately, but that will go perfectly in the bathroom. I did find some little glass drops for chandeliers, and I picked up a bit of glass jewellery that I thought we could use on the chandelier also. And I found these silver beads. They were $2. I thought that perfect. You know, it's quite high up, it's 10-foot ceilings. I couldn't find the glass drop beads. I could use them on the chandelier. I got the tie back there for 25 cents, and this little soap dish, well, I'm using it as a soap dish, for 50 cents, and an art book. I always pick up art books. It's a really nice one. That was $2. I had this piece, I thrifted this up quite a while ago, it's been a few months, but and it doesn't work, it gets too hot, so I'm frightened to use it, but I love the look of it, and I love these little glass chandelier pieces, so I took every one off, and I'm going to dismantle this lamp and keep it for parts, but I'm going to use the little glass drops on the chandelier that I'm making for the bathroom. Kind of got a few ideas, not quite sure how they're going to turn out, but I did give them a good wash, as a couple of my followers had told me to do in the last one, which I did. You just couldn't tell, but I do wash them all because they just come up, shine so beautifully when they're clean. So this is one of the light fittings I took from my stash. I took the glass pieces off that go over the lights. I added in these little candle holders, and then I hot glued them in, and then I hot glued these little beaded pieces all the way around so they all dangle down nicely. It looks okay, it's not brilliant, but it looks nice when it's up in the bathroom. Like I said, they're 10-foot ceilings, so just needed something up there to fill the space, and once the little glass drops are on, it looks quite nice. So here are the little placemats that I picked up, and I'm going to use them as pictures. I just glued these little hanging hooks on the back, and those are going in the bathroom as well. These are the nail heads that were left after screwing the picture to the wall. So I found these little beads, they're plastic, they're buttons actually. Cut the little buttonhole thing off and then just glued them directly onto the mirror, and I think it turned out really nicely. So here it is, the finished bathroom. It took a little longer than anticipated. It's not completely finished. The floor has to be relaid, there's a new floor coming, and trim has to be added, but I can't do that. I'm relying on my husband for those, so obviously have to wait. I will show you when it's completely done, hopefully within a month. But this is what I could do. It should have been knocked down and started again, but I couldn't do that. So because it's rented, again, the phrase comes back, lipstick on a pig. Is it perfect? Very, very far from. I've made do, and it's turned out quite nice. So here we go. Obviously that's the green paint from the hallway, the pink from the hallway. I had them both, I had loads left, so that's why I've used them. Plus I did like the combination. You can see on the pattern from the wallpaper underneath, that's turned out, it's really subtle, but it's turned out very nice. I'm very pleased with that. These are the placemats that I picked up in a recent thrift haul, and just thought I'd put little hooks on the back of them and put them right there. And the colour scheme is perfect for the bathroom. So that's just perfect for a little towel. There was nowhere else to hang anything. Let's get over to the sink. Those are peel and stick tiles, which obviously I would have, well, never mind what I would have done. This is what I have done. This sink we replaced the first week we moved in because the sink that was here was just atrocious. So we picked this up off Facebook Marketplace, and we put that in when we got this back in September when we got into the upstairs. I did paint it the white, changed out the handles and the knobs. That one is not straight, as you can see. I'm waiting for hubby to finish a couple of little jobs, not that I can't do, I just don't do. There's the mirror that I replaced. This was a thrifted mirror, I think it was $7. And those were the little screw heads that we screwed it directly into the wall because the mirror had been changed from upright to long ways. So I just found the little buttons and stuck those directly on. The light is the light that was here. I took everything apart, sprayed it gold, picked up these little glass shades, and then just used the light bulb and like a little clip to hold them in. So cost nothing. The light was actually from downstairs, it was in the basement, so I'm really pleased with how that turned out as well. You can kind of see the corner of reflection. I love reflections in mirrors, especially if it's a nice view. So over to the stack. This was one of those jobs again. My husband had to make this. The ceilings are 10 foot tall. It was really difficult. This has to be finished. I just painted it green. Actually, it looks fine green. I will leave it green, but it will be finished properly. Like I said, it was a job that I couldn't do, but it was done in time for the video. The toilet roll holder was a 50-cent thrift find, and I think it's perfect for there. Okay, so this little stool was the one that I recovered, and that looks great in this little nook that has been created by the when we put the cover on the stack, and then obviously a little shelf with some little objects on them. The artwork came from the hallway outside, so I'm changing out all my artwork because I did have, as I pointed out with the pictures that I did before, I was going to put different artwork in here, but they just didn't work. This green theme, I've gone with it. Some people might think it's too much green, but I think it works. Now the space above, I just used it as a shelf, high shelf, or maybe, but the mirrors were from just around the house, things that I hadn't used them in this house yet. The big basket has got extra bedding in, and then all the little baskets have bits of things that I don't use very often, but I need them sort of at hand. A couple of little bird cages, obviously everything thrifted, everything. This little shelf thing it is a shelf, but I thought it just looked really cute above the door there. It almost looks like a feature, so obviously put that there, pleased with that. Now this is the screen that I made, and what I thought I'd do was leave it over here in the corner. It'll cover that corner cabinet, and it can also cover the doorway. Should you decide to want to have the window open in the summertime, because it just has a screen on it, you've still got privacy. Obviously you can pull the curtains over, but I was really pleased with how this turned out. So obviously the colours are perfect for this room. I'm going to pull this back and show you what I did to the shelf behind. A couple of these little things were things that I found this last week when I was thrifting for the bathroom specifically. The shelves are just decorative. The bottom shelves I've covered with this little piece of fabric that I have left over. Excuse me. Just put 2 dowels in, 2 hemmed edges, measured the width between, and then just threaded them through little hooks. And it covers up the toilet rolls and Kleenex and things that are easy at hand, you don't necessarily want to look at. So that's turned out quite nice. I had painted the door frame white as well, but just didn't like it. That's why I went with the green. But I think this is okay in the white. This wall looks so much better in the green. Obviously I had to strip it all back down, but it does look good. The hook is something that I picked up from an antique market quite a while ago. I think it was $12, but it's a lovely old hook. And then I did remove, it was like a frame, and I don't know what it was. It probably was a mirror at some time. I ripped that off the door, sanded it all down, obviously to repaint it, replaced the handle, and then put the towel rack. Again, just grab 2 towels that kind of go with the room. I'm not going to go out and spend any more money on this room. That was absolutely necessary. And then put the curtains up. So the pink velvet, just to change up from the green, and pulled it on the floor. These were 2 curtains. I just joined them together with a bit of trim. And I was going to cut them to length, but I like the way they pulled on the floor. Just had a little tie back just to hold it all. So that was thrifted this week as well. And then the mirror. This came from downstairs. I'd had this stored in the basement. This was one that I'd done a while ago, on previous videos obviously. I'd added the little bits of moulding to it and painted it. It was an off-white pinky kind of colour anyway. I just added a little bit of like a rub and buff to it in the gold, just to give it a bit of glitz. Who doesn't like a little bit of glitz? And there's the reflection of the shelf in the corner. And I remember watching a video from Tarnished Treasures and saying that she loved a nice reflection, and I do, I really do. I know exactly how she feels. So that's that. Okay, so let's move on to the shower curtain. Now, I did screw up with this, and I'm going to tell you something, and this is something that I do, because you wouldn't know if I didn't tell you, but I measured the distance from the top of the shower to the bathtub and then to the floor. I made a mark on the material and cut it in the wrong place, so I had to reattach the bottom panel. So there is a join there, you can't necessarily see it, but I just thought I'd point that out because I screwed up. I do tend to do that. I remember years ago when my girls were little, I used to use eyelash curlers, and accidentally ripped all of my eyelashes out one night when we were going out, and decided to go out anyway, and rather than not say anything, I pointed it out to everybody. So I just tend to do things like that. It's a bit silly, but this is the wall that was, I didn't know whether to go straight up to the ceiling. It started at the same length roughly as the shower opening. These are the pictures that came from the library. We are having one of the kids moving back with us for a little while, so we've had to change around again with all the rooms, but I will touch on that again. So we've moved the library downstairs. That's in an upcoming video. But obviously all of these pictures were thrifted, as with the hooks. I decided to use towels that I've got. So I grabbed a green towel, the brown towel and the white, and I think they just look perfectly. They work with all the colours that we've used in the room, and I wasn't going to go out and buy new towels. Really, why would I? So you can see the pattern of the wallpaper underneath again. So there it is in all its glory, the bathroom makeover from hell. I forgot to point out the chandelier. Again, it's perfect, no, but it fills the spot, and it looks better than the black one that I had there for it, which I bought from the kitchen at the last house. So it's not bad. I will get the candlesticks, the remote control candlesticks, but they just hadn't come in time for the video. But I will put them in, and they'll be nice. I imagine them candlesticks and candlelight while you're having a bath. Lovely. I had a couple of people ask me about the suicide door to nowhere, and here it is. So there, that's the door, like the window. There is a screen to go back on it, but it was, I think they must have smoked in here because it was, ugh, I didn't even want to touch it. It was so disgusting. But we ripped that out, and that has to be replaced. I'm just not doing it now. It's actually a really nice day here today. We did have snow, quite a lot of it, over the last couple of days, but there we go. That's where the door leads to. Absolutely bloody nowhere. I think there must have been a deck out here at one point, because that's a bit of an extension at the back. But that's where the door goes to. So you could use it, I suppose, jump out onto the roof and then fall off the roof. Door to nowhere.